The year is 2076. War is still happening. Children in Africa are starving because you didn't eat your veggies. And now my Blu-ray of Cars 2 is illegal. Wake the fuck up, samurai! This has been a long time coming, people. At some point, companies are going to stop producing Simpsons DVDs, and the only way we can watch season 29 is by streaming on Disney+.
Companies have been making a push for an all digital environment for a while now. And you know, it makes sense. If you buy Pikmin 4 off the eShop, you are giving your money directly to Nintendo. But if you buy a physical copy from Walmart, that just opens up a whole can of worms, let me tell you. Nintendo has to spend the money to print the cards and the art, put them in the cases, then ship them, to which the retailers get a portion of the profits, leaving Nintendo with a pittance of what they could have gotten from their eShop. How will they survive? But since digital storefronts are more profitable, many game companies will push for that to be the way you play, and more importantly, spend. Nintendo used to be really good with discounting their games. The Nintendo Select line was reprintings of their most successful games, but discounted to $20. Now you'll be lucky if their games go below $40. The Nintendo Voucher is their current digital exclusive deal. You can buy 2 tickets for $100 and be able to pick any 2 games to download. That means you can get Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Strikers for $100 instead of $130. What a deal!
I have been obsessed with finding a way to lose money on this.
The cheapest games on there are $50, so you just need to get at least one on sale for below $50, and bam! You just lost money. Sony and Microsoft both put out digital versions of their new consoles that are cheaper than the ones with a disc drive, but that's not their first move to dissuade physical owners. Both attempted to ban used games on their platforms at one point or another, the PS3 and Xbox One. People didn't like that. Each has their own subscription service, PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, that give you a large selection of digital games you can play for a fee.
But is that fee worth it? It depends on the person.
Sega is another company who made it more appealing to buy their games digitally with the digital deluxe version, which basically includes extra content that you can get separately if you bought the physical version, but is typically cheaper digitally. I remember this explicitly with Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, because they added a ton of characters to it, like Morgana and the Game Gear, and I wanted to play as those, but I got the physical version because I like physical versions. Sue me. I think Sonic Origins Plus got some controversy because players who bought Sonic Origins at launch for $40 still had to buy the Plus expansion at $10, but the base game got permanently discounted to $30 and Origin Plus became $40. So the people who supported first were forced to spend more than those who waited. Plus, their physical Switch games suck. They come in big packaging that you just can't throw away. Look, an art book. There's Metal Sonic. He's your friend. Actually, if they want you to buy the digital version so bad, why do this? I don't get you. One thing that everyone will point to as a downside to digital games is that they can be pulled off the shelf never to be seen again. And I've honestly found that notion to be a little ridiculous. People will point at PT and Scott Pilgrim the game and say, be afraid, but PT was a demo, and Scott Pilgrim was a licensed game that, to be fair, was taken down, but eventually came back.
I won't deny the possibility, but for most titles, this will never be a threat. What is this?
Of course, Nintendo decided to be a little bitch about it, and for the 35th anniversary of Mario and the 30th anniversary for Fire Emblem, they released Super Mario 3D All-Stars and Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, both to be taken down from the eShop the following March. Some will say that the reason for this was to sell more copies. But do you really think these wouldn't sell well? Maybe the Fire Emblem game, but that wouldn't have sold incredible anyways. But 3D All-Stars? 3 iconic games from the Mario series, 2 hailed as some of the greatest 3D platformers of all time, and a game that has never been re-released before?
If they did the limited release to increase sales numbers, they're an idiot. If they did it to keep control over their legacy content, they're an idiot. I think just in general this was an incredibly idiotic move. Like, to put it in perspective, Super Mario 3D All-Stars sold 9 million on the Switch. That's a pretty respectable number. Super Mario 3D World Meow on the Wii U sold a little less than Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. The re-release on the Switch sold over 12 million units. And you can still go out there and buy a new copy and increase those sales numbers.
Moving on to movies, streaming services have been the main push for an old digital environment. Imagine a whole studio's filmography right there for a small fee.
We can't stray too far from dystopian capitalism.
It was great back when Netflix first started their streaming service because it was the first and only one. All the companies would just license their stuff out there and profit. But mainly Netflix. Netflix profited a lot. And the other companies took notice. And now there's way too many and it's actively harming the consumers and the companies. Your wallet is now being spread across multiple services just so you can get all the movies and shows you wanted to see. Now, a lot of people will just subscribe to a service for a bit, watch what they want, then cancel their subscription and subscribe somewhere else. That's honestly a good practice, but companies hate that. They want you to constantly give them money, so they have to pump out new movies and TV constantly, releasing new episodes each week rather than all at once, and give you no reason to ever unsubscribe. Which, if we look at Disney, it actively hurt some of their biggest brands, Marvel and Star Wars. It got to a point where fully completed movies and shows were being pulled as a tax write-off, which is terrible for preservation. Infinity Train was a series that originally premiered on Cartoon Network before becoming a Max exclusive for books 3 and 4. And this is a fantastic show, and they pulled it when I was halfway through book 2.
And now there's no way you can watch the whole series. Nope, absolutely no way. No link in the description or anything. No, this is terrible.
Hey, so editor's note here, it's me, I'm the editor. I found out that you can buy seasons 1, 2, and 4 of Infinity Train on Amazon, but not season 3 if you live in the US. This is stupid. So digital clearly has its pros and cons, but what about physical media? Ladies and gentlemen, my collection. I have a lot of movies, shows, and games that I have collected over the years because I honestly prefer physical over digital. And one of those reasons is that I own this. You see this copy of Wii Fit You? It's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. Look, it has makeup on. Collecting these gives me a sense of preservation. Like, look at me, I'm preserving this incredible piece of art, when in reality, I just have one of the mass-produced discs. Another reason is just saving on storage space, which is a bit redundant when some games still require downloads or need you to install data from a second disc. Like, come on, now I'm really never going to play Red Dead Redemption 2. Remember 3D All-Stars? Well, I can still play it, and so can anyone else. You can get these things anywhere. They serve as better gifts. I love opening up a present and having something tangible. You can also have people borrow it, you know, sharing things you like. My friend currently has my copy of Nier Automata, and I borrowed Sonic Forces from him in exchange for watching the first part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I have not seen a return on investment.
But the main reason is that it gives me a physical reminder of something that I liked. A lot of the things I have are things that I have seen previously, and if I want to watch it again, I don't have to sift through services spending a monthly subscription. I have it right here. It also serves as merch, like, I love this game so much that I now own it forever. I can display this however I want to. At the beginning of last semester, I decided to do what I always wanted to do, and display my collection in a shelf. And it's small considering I had a limited amount I could take with me. But when I finished setting it up, I was really happy.
I know, I'm incredibly lame.
I used to play with DVDs by organizing them on the floor.
I was genuinely happy to be displaying my own collection, and it's one of the reasons I still want to waste all my money on physical copies of indie games.
Like, not every game gets a physical release, so it's something special when it does happen. One of my favorite games is Hades, and I got myself a physical copy when it first released. What the fuck happened to it? That's the danger of physical media. It can get damaged. I didn't purposely do this, I genuinely don't know what happened to it.
My copy of Cooking Mama Cookstar smells like hot sauce for whatever reason.
And if one gets damaged too far, you just can't use it anymore. It also takes up physical space, like there's not much room on my bed anymore. Plus, it's just less convenient. It's a lot easier to press play on a song than to hook up your gramophone, or press a different icon than stand up, walk over to the cabinet, pick out a game, walk over to your system, remove the game, put in a new one, put back the old game, and sit back down on the couch only to realize you don't want to play that.
But for me, I will always choose physical over digital. Unless it's more expensive, I can't argue with a discount. But that's the thing with any industry. Money talks.
Best Buy announced that in early 2024, they will no longer be selling DVDs or Blu-rays, period. Which is really upsetting. Whenever I go to Best Buy, I love just looking at all the movies they had for sale. Classic movies, new releases, things I had no idea existed.
It doesn't take much to entertain me. But what this represents upsets me more. This is the first real indication that we are moving away from physical media. Sure, streaming services, digital-only consoles, and digital storefronts have been around for a while, but those still gave you the option of buying physical media. But now, Best Buy doesn't see selling movies as profitable anymore. Who knows when the others will join? Digital media will always have its advantages over physical media. It's more convenient, it takes up no physical space, and it won't get damaged. But physical has enough of its own merits that I doubt that it will go away anytime soon. Even if it's just people like me who get off on owning Duckman.